Welcome to Karen's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making fudgy chocolate chip blondies from paleorunningmama.com. Following, you'll see the ingredients and then the instructions. So be sure and pause it, grab everything, come on back, and let's get started. Hey guys, today is June 9th, 2020, and I will be baking some blondie brownies today, but I will be doing so with a heavy heart, as I've been watching George Floyd's funeral all day. And if you watch this, you know what's going on in the world today. George Floyd was killed May 25th, and it's been 2 weeks and a day. And it was due to a police officer kneeling on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And since then, the world has been completely different. We've made signs, we've gone out in protest, supported black companies, and really learning how to be a better person, not to be racist, to do our part to spread the word, and if we see something, say something. I'm growing. I hope I'm getting better, and you kids have always been a great example of what we should be, and I know we can all work harder, but I just want you to keep in mind this is during a pandemic. We're still dealing with COVID-19. You know who's still in office, so I've been doing a lot of baking and cooking and trying to be as normal as we can. So, with that said, let's get started and make some really delicious brownies, ones I've made so many times, and I'm sure you will too. Okay, let's go. Today we're going to make the absolute best fudgy chocolate chip blondie brownies. And I've already got my pans prepared here. Now this is aluminum. I don't want any of my food touching it, but the recipe does call to have some unbleached liner. I'm going to be using more glass from here on out, but if you do use aluminum, always make sure that you line it with something so it doesn't touch your food and chemicals spill into your food. We're still in a pandemic. I am working on my lighting, my sound. It should get better as we go. Also, my roots need done. One of the first days I haven't had a hat on in weeks, and we still don't have an oven, so we are cooking in the toaster oven. So we're going to mix our dry ingredients first. So we do a cup and 2/3 of baking powder, almond powder. Let me find my 2/3, there it is. And I like the fine blanched almond flour. I get it at Costco, but you can really, nowadays you can find it anywhere. Okay, so there's our almond flour. And we're also going to mix in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So, and it's really good, I lay everything out. That way it's right in front of me, easy to measure. And I take my knife. You know, when you're cooking, it's not exact, but when you're baking, you try to get as exact as you can because it does really make a difference. Okay, so 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I like the sea salt here, which you saw last time. Alrighty, we'll put this in. And then I'm just going to give this. Yeah, I know, I'm mixing them with a measure, it doesn't matter. Just going to mix this up and set this aside once it's fully mixed. Okay, so now that's set aside, and we're going to mix the coconut oil, and I have it here. It's a 1/2 cup of organic refined coconut oil. Refined means they've removed basically the coconut flavor. So what you get is a nice oil. It doesn't make everything taste like coconut. So and they want it to be soft. See how it's soft, but it's not melted. Okay, so there's a 1/2 cup into my bowl. And what else am I mixing with that? And the coconut sugar. So let's get our coconut sugar here. And we're going to use 2/3 cup of organic coconut sugar. And that's good enough. Okay, so now we're going to mix this together with our hand mixer. Just like so. And you just mix it until they're combined pretty nicely. So that's combined. So we add another 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt into the wet mixture. Okay. And then we add a teaspoon of vanilla. So we'll just put the vanilla in. And there's the vanilla. Incidentally, we were going to save this and make this the vanilla that we have for a year or two, but we baked so much we had to break into it last night. I like to scrape the bowl as I'm mixing, just to get everything off the sides. And here's another fun fact. The reason I'm wearing this Band-Aid on my middle finger is, and I keep hitting it, is because we were cooking the other day and I actually sliced my fingernail and quite a bit underneath it off. So I'm sticking to baking so I don't have to slice anything for a little while. We're going to stir in the dry. And again, I use my little spatula. I love my little spatulas. Just mix it all. And in the instructions it says to beat with a wooden spoon for another minute. I don't know what that does, but once I get this mixed, I'm just going to keep using the spatula, but they really want it mixed well with your hand. Okay, this is stirred pretty well, and we're going to put in folded 3/4 cup of chips. Okay, so there's 3/4 chips. Just kind of fold it in. See that? Okay, so now I'm going to put in the prepared 8x8 or 9x9, whatever you have, metal pan. Scrape that down, and you just have to push it down. Make sure you get it to all the edges and try to make it as even as possible when you're pushing it down. Put a few more chips, sprinkle them on top so it looks good. Can't have too many chips. There you go. Now I'm going to stick it in the oven. We're going to bake it in the preheated oven, 18 to 22 minutes. The toaster oven cooks faster, so I'll check it in about 15 minutes just to make sure it's not overcooked. Take it out, let it completely cool. Store them in the refrigerator, they're really good. If you don't finish them, I cut them into smaller pieces, just a nice bite-sized piece for dessert, and keep them in the freezer. They'll keep a few months. But honestly, they're not going to last that long. So, all right, we'll come back whenever they're done and show you what they look like, and then we'll cut them up and try them. Brownies are done. Now, the directions say to let them cool, put them in the refrigerator before you cut them. So I have done that. Use the parchment paper as your handles to lift it out. So easy that is. Now, it looks a little darker because when you cook in a toaster oven, the food is closer to the burner, so it looks darker. But when you make yours, it won't be as dark. And then you just, actually what you do is you should cut it down the middle and then cut that in half, and that's how you get even squares. There you go. And we'll do it on this side. Cut it down the middle, in half. And what I'll do, if I put these in the freezer, I'll cut them again in half to make just bite-sized pieces, so you don't want something too decadent at night that's too big. And there you go. Delicious. You can see chewy, gooey brownies. Enjoy. See you next time.